Hi everybody, this is Tamir Moore welcoming you to yet another video on my YouTube channel. Well, the wildcard weekend is over. What a weekend it was. No home team did not win a single game this weekend, which is kind of surprising because Cincinnati, who we'll talk about more in depth in just a moment. Last night against Pittsburgh, Cincinnati had a 1-point lead with less than 2 minutes to go, but Cincinnati caught the game up. Now, here's how the playoff began. Yesterday, we had the Kansas City Chiefs, the 5 seed, in the wild card, taking on the number 4 seed, the champions of the AFC South, the Houston Texans. This is the AFC side of the bracket. And of course, the playoff began with a bang. Niall Davis returning the kickoff, 106 yards for the touchdown. That's the first time in NFL history that a kickoff return for a touchdown has ever started a game. And the quickest, too, 11 seconds in. The Texans are the third team in playoff history to ever be shut out in a game. The Texans, my oh gosh, I don't know what occurred yesterday. Brian Hoyer did not protect the football. Not at all. 5 turnovers. Kansas City was on him all day. Remember, the Chiefs have won 10 straight games coming into this. The Chiefs started 1-5. And Kansas City was trash. Andy Reid, of course, was like, what's going on here? Why does football team not winning? But Andy Reid can silence those critics right now. The Chiefs are rolling along. And Alex Smith told Lisa Salters yesterday right after the ball game, all 3 phases of our team, offense, defense, special team, they all did it. And Kansas City is very dangerous. I think they can go against anybody in the AFC. Meanwhile, for the Texans, sadly, they didn't get none of their players going except for DeAndre Hopkins, who had to catch every now and again. But Houston's quarterback carousel has been really something to take by this year. You have Brandon Reed, Ryan Mallett, you have Brian Hoyer as well, and also TJ Yates was in there for a time or two. But lack of consistency really did Houston in. I'm surprised that Houston beat the Indianapolis Colts for this AFC South title. The Colts had their own issues toward the end. But the Colts, had to have 10 things break right. And of course, that did not happen. Obviously, New Orleans beat Atlanta in Week 17. But for the Texans moving forward, I believe that they need to find a starting quarterback who has experience and who is dedicated to winning football game. Because right now, Ryan Hoyer is not that. Remember, he was in Cleveland a few years ago. And Brandon Reed, who was let go by the Dallas Cowboys. Brandon Reed is technically still new to the offense. And this is not Bill O'Brien's fault, but Houston, they got to really think about where they're going to be heading moving forward, because obviously the Texans won 3 straight coming in, but in that playoff game yesterday, Houston completely lost all that momentum heading in. Obviously, the Chiefs that we said heading to New England next week. Let's talk about Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. That game last night really was the meat and bone of the weekend. Pittsburgh led 15-0 at the end of the fourth quarter. The Steelers were rolling along, the number 6 seed in the playoff, taking on the number 3 seed, the Cincinnati Bengals. This is their third meeting of the year. And Ben Roethlisberger, he was on time. He was sharp. There was a time in the fourth quarter that Roethlisberger was knocked out and had to leave for a while. But then, this is really what the game got into. Less than 2 minutes left. A.J. McCarron just threw a touchdown to A.J. Green, I believe. The Bengals led 16-15, less than 2 minutes left to go. And then Vontaze Burfict completely got out of control. Marvin Lewis, who is his 13th year with Cincinnati, trying to keep it in control, but Burfict decided to go off, and he knocked Antonio Brown out the game. Also, Adam Jones was called for a personal foul. Considering before that, Jeremy Hill fumbled. The Steelers converted a 4th down to Antonio Brown. And Chris Boswell won the game at the end. There was a lot of chippiness all time. This is the division rival meeting for the first time. Last time the 2 teams that Pittsburgh and Cincinnati had a little bit of a pregame fight. And once again, the chippiness was there. But Pittsburgh able to walk out with a win. They'll face the number 1 seed in Denver next Sunday. Let's talk about today, the NFC side of the playoffs. Minnesota, it was freezing. 1 degree below zero. Wind chill was near 20 degrees below zero. It was absolutely uncomfortable to stand there. You had the number 6 seed, the Seattle Seahawks, who are coming in hot. And then Minnesota, who also coming in hot, defrowing the 4-time NFC North champion Green Bay Packers. the Seahawks today, they were awesome. Russell Wilson, when he was flushed out by Tyler Lockett late in the game, Minnesota had free field goal for Blair Walsh. And Minnesota could have won this game if Blair Walsh missed the 27-yard field goal at the end. And Adrian Peterson, who's the rushing champion, obviously, today, he was slowed down. The Seattle defense really stepped up. Michael Bennett, Bruce Irvin, Cliff Averill, guys you've heard of. Even KJ Wright made a huge play knocking out of Kyle Rudolph's hands late. And I believe the Seahawks are dangerous in the playoffs. They're the two-time defending NFC champion. They made the last two Super Bowl. They beat Denver in the blowout in Super Bowl 48. Last year, we all know how New England, Malcolm Butler sucked their Super Bowl dreams right out. I think the Seahawks are poised to go back to the Super Bowl once again, but they have to get through Carolina, Arizona, and moving forward, I think the Seahawks are going back to the Super Bowl this year, but they have to get through Carolina next week, and possibly if the Seahawks win, they might host the NFC Championship game here in Green Bay. I'm sorry. Excuse me about that. I mean, Seahawks are number 6. So Seattle could be on the road the whole way, I should say. Kind of messed up there. The Seahawks have to win 3 outdoor games to go to the Super Bowl. That's a hard task, but Seattle can do anything. And then Green Bay and Washington, the game you just saw. Washington led another to 11-0. They're the number 4 seed, the NFC East champion, take on the number 5 Green Bay Packers. And the winner of this game will have to go to Arizona. And Green Bay, the last couple weeks, Green Bay was absolutely disgraceful. Aaron Rodgers, they did not protect him. Green Bay gave up the ball a lot. The running back did not get going, but Eddie Lacy, James Stark, James Jones, John Kuhn, Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams had a touchdown in the game. Aaron Rodgers felt like he got his confidence back. And Mike McCarthy took over the play call from Tom Clements about a month ago. He was under fire. He was under screws for why he called the play. But Green Bay's reputation was on the line. But Washington decided to attack it, and it didn't work. Considering Deshaun Jackson did not go to the end zone, that was 7 points that Washington should have had. But their defense was a little